Are you ready for the battle of the century? Sadly, you ain't going to get it in this movie. I am talking about Frankenstein versus the Mummy, and this is a 2015 movie directed by Damien Leon. Now, this is obviously a harken back to the days of the Universal monster movies where we had various kind of matchups. You know, we had Frankenstein versus the Wolfman, we had Dracula meets Frankenstein. So this is really a very B-movie take on those kind of classic mashups that we had of yesteryear. And it really takes place in modern America. So obviously these kind of tales have been, especially obviously Frankenstein, which has always been a period piece really, have been kind of brought forward to a kind of modern setting. Now the first half of this movie really has two concurrent storylines that are sort of deal with both, the Frankenstein and the Mummy. So we have Victor, obviously von Frankenstein, and he's this kind of professor. He's very young. I mean, they cast him very young, which was a mistake for a start. And he's basically doing experiments to try and find the meaning of existence, essentially. And he wants to sort of ultimately find the cure for immortality. And this is driven by a kind of personal tragedy in his past. And he's got this secret sort of dungeon where he's doing experiments and paying some kind of lunatic to get him body parts, and obviously he's trying to create sort of Frankenstein's monster. At the same time, his love interest, this kind of female archaeologist, has brought this mummy back from Egypt, and ignored the warnings of the inevitable curse that you're going to get on these things. And of course, this mummy isn't quite as dormant as you'd probably expect. So we don't actually see the monsters come to life, so to speak, until nearly an hour into this movie. Now, the first half of this movie really is just establishing these kind of human characters, mainly the two leads, I suppose. The problem is that these guys are simply terrible actors, and their line delivery is awful. I mean, their relationship is very confusing, because at first I thought they seemed like they were kind of long-term, boyfriend, girlfriend, or partners, or whatever. But we're told that they've only just met, and like, this really doesn't kind of feel like that. And the way they kind of are acting, it seems like they have been kind of dating for a long time. I mean, they might have known each other, but the way they're acting, the way their relationship is kind of put on screen, doesn't go with how they're kind of sort of set up. Just for one example, but to give you, moving away from the kind of the relationship stuff, it's just some of the script problems here. I mean, in literally one scene, and I kid you not with this one, we have this kind of older professor sort of saying, "Oh, we discovered the mummy, and there was this ancient language that we've never seen before, and we weren't able to read." And in the next line, he goes, "Oh, but she was able to read it," pointing to the kind of female archaeologist. And I'm like, what? And then we have Frankenstein playing with this kind of severed hand in his kind of lab, and he said, "Oh, he can feel pain." How is it feeling pain if it's not connected to a brain? It's just like, come on, basic science, people. I mean, I know this is a B movie, but goddamn, So this is a really dumb film, and again, I'll point another Frankenstein issue that I had. He's just like, to find a brain, he's got this kind of lunatic who's going out trying to get body parts, and they have a conflict, and they try to kill each other, and obviously Frankenstein's wins, but he decides to put that brain in the body. I mean, why would you put the brain of a man who's just trying to kill you inside potentially a body that you probably think is going to come to life? Dumb. And this is meant to be a smart guy, honestly. Now, on a plus side, when we finally do get to see the monsters, I actually think they look quite good. The makeup effects are pretty decent, and I like them. I mean, they are on the cheap side, but I think they did a pretty good job, and they kind of look quite good. And I like the kind of look of both Frankenstein and the Mummy. And also there is quite a lot of gore effects here. Then there's plenty of hearts being ripped out and eaten. There's brain, heads being kind of sawn in two. So there's there's a fair amount of gore here. So if you are a gore hound, I mean, it's not stuff that's going to make you queasy. It's not that realistic, but it's fun. They do a decent job of kind of having some quite good gore effects. There's some interesting kind of side characters as well. The kind of the older professor who is kind of initially assisting these female archaeologists, comes across as really creepy, and probably by design, I think, in this movie. But it's why anyone would want to hang out with him before we kind of get this in improving this plot, I have no idea. But unfortunately, the real issue most people have, unfortunately, is the fact that this is called Frankenstein versus Mummy, and 99% of this film is not that at all, and we get one very short scene with these two characters fighting right at the end of the film, and that obviously is a missed opportunity here, and for some reason it focuses so much on these kind of human characters that are so uninteresting to watch on screen. So real missed opportunity, unfortunately, which could have been an okay, probably average movie, but as it stands at the moment, I think it's definitely below average, with some redeeming qualities that are really just based on the kind of the effects and stuff like that. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10, and that's really the points of kind of for the effects more than anything else. So have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave us a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.